Hi, Shamil. Welcome to SV for You podcast, Freedom to Learn. And so we have a guest from OrangeKloud. He's VP, Vice President of Marketing. And so today we are going to talk about, Silicon Valley for You partnership with OrangeKloud to help youth to understand where the technology is in terms of building mobile apps and in future web apps as well. They have very interesting platform to build, mobile apps for enterprises, and going forward, probably they'll be releasing for the web apps as well. So with that, I welcome you, and I'm gonna start with asking, just tell us how more about OrangeKloud, how the story behind OrangeKloud, how you guys come about starting the company.
So thanks a lot, Guru. Thanks for the welcome. Appreciate it. So OrangeKloud is basically a no-code enterprise mobile application development platform provider. So we have a flagship product, which is called eMobic, which is in a way kind of empowering all those developers who want to build cross-platform and web-based applications, and not stopping with that, and able to actually integrate it to any backend ERP, CRM portals through web services. So Gartner has given us a very good rating for the platform as one of the promising rapid mobile application development platforms in their market index guide for 2 consecutive years in 2016 and 2017. So we are in a way, I would say, like out to disrupt the native mode of application development. I would say expedite, add an element of expedition, add an element of acceleration, code acceleration to the entire process of development. So OrangeKloud is a spin-off. Actually, we are basically a spin-off of ERP solutions provider. And we see that, with a lot of rapid growth in enterprise mobility market, with the concept of bring your own devices, which is becoming the norm in today's businesses, rapid application deployment and development and deployment is something which all these businesses are expecting in terms of all the consulting ERP companies who not only just deploy the ERP solution, they also expect a holistic solution. So OrangeKloud decided that, we would have this, with the current growth of 65% of enterprise application development moving towards low-code, no-code platforms by 2023, we thought that this would be the right moment to get started.
Yeah, thank you very much. And by the way, just, so can you adjust your camera a little bit so that, yeah, there you are. Okay, now we can see chin and up. Earlier we were seeing.
Sorry about that.
No worries. So, we've been working for some time, and, I've been, aware of some of the things you guys are doing. So in fact, the one you mentioned, we like to call that coding accelerator rather than, no code, with all due respect. The point is that it's not easy for somebody to build without having any, orientation towards building products. And so I know it accelerates for those who understand their needs and requirements and build, any web solutions going forward. Right now, it's both for Android and iOS mobile apps. Yeah. So with that, so my next thing is, so just talk about, I think you touched upon it, but I was gonna refer to that. So for enterprises, is there any particular niche you're going after? Because, let's say within enterprises, do you see certain markets are better than other markets, like maybe financial sector or, I don't know, like healthcare or something, or you are agnostic pretty much you can fit into any type of enterprise?
Well, just to give you a general idea, we are across the board when it comes to the sectors, like catering to different sectors. But having said that, with all this pandemic and the kind of things happening around in today's digital economy, more and more food manufacturing and service industries are kind of switching to some sort of a mobile first strategy, even if they are not like digitally transformed. When they start embarking on a digital transformation journey, they choose mobile first as a start, because that kind of enhances the customer experience. Like today, like most things are being sold and bought with mobile apps, even though the companies from all these different industries still have an ERP or a CRM that supports all the business processes, but you still have the mobile workforce who prefer to have like design thinking mobile applications that could actually fit into their scheme of things and work in tandem with the ERP solutions as well. So food manufacturing and services, field service, particularly field services with online and offline capabilities. These are some of the areas that we are currently focusing on.
Yeah, so I mean, typically, I see two different type of enterprises. One is mobile centric, for instance, Uber, like you said, food tech, Ubers and Lyfts and all these commute tech companies, and Amazon, for instance, a lot of companies that relies heavily on mobile app, and everything else follows. And then there are a lot of enterprises, they do a lot of things on the through cloud and applications, and they also have mobile app, so it's sort of nice to have type thing. In some cases they just provide mobile apps for only internal users, or internal users rather. And so where do you think you see a more of it, like Uber type enterprises, or like for lack of better term, non-Uber type enterprises?
So typically, our focus is more for the enterprise graded mobile applications. We are more the B2B focused. So if you're talking about businesses today, they want to make their employment facing apps, their employee facing apps, to be well designed and well thought of. So to kind of make the process of customer experience, serving the customer, and end of the day, like making it a paperless, automated process. So I'll give you a very simple example. Like a typical scenario would be like having a mobile POS system instead of having those kiosks where in a retail outlet where you can actually have those kiosks stationed, and you have these processes like handled by the kiosk operator. So here you have a scenario where these mobile apps allow the person to be anywhere at any time, at any location, regardless of whether there is Wi-Fi connectivity or not. So that's where our focus areas, wherever we have scenarios where the enterprise requires some sort of mobility and needs to go paperless, needs to reduce carbon footprint. We're talking about reducing carbon footprint. So one way of looking at it is that, and where you need to have it seamless with a lot of design thinking. You have different roles, in a company or in an organization. You have different people with different habits, or from different backgrounds. So they need to have those mobile application screens that fit to their kind of style or convenience. So you need to have a lot of design thinking that needs to be put into these kind of mobile applications. So anywhere that kind of handles that, would be the market to go.
Okay, that's I think that's a huge area if you add up all those
Very much.
Well, so the next I'm going to segue into, generally, especially say fairly crowded. It's a huge market, but also it's crowded. So there are a lot of people out there coming out with, I don't know, similar solutions. So just can you talk a little bit about, Orange Cloud and other competition out there to, see, where you stand and what's your niche compared to other ones, and some idea about comparative analysis.
Sure. So, like as you rightly said, this is a big market, a very competitive landscape. And we have, with Gartner predicting nearly 65% of enterprise application development moving towards low code and no code modes of development. We are in that, space. Where we stand out is particularly when it comes to developing this kind of applications with minimum fuss, with less, I would say, the learning curve is kind of more smoother compared to, other modes of development. So our platform, for example, you don't need to know, you don't need to really be a specialist in a programming environment. You could actually pick up the pieces with a little bit of background as a web developer. You can actually pick up the pieces and develop your logic and churn out a mobile application which is enterprise graded in less than a few hours, maybe a full sophisticated application. So if you're talking about where we come in handy is we reduce the IT and resource costs of companies. I mean, when I say that, you can have an existing web developer who could actually become a mobile application developer for both Android and iOS, as well as the web, using the platform. You do not need to have it's done with a single code base deployed across multiple platforms. You do not need to have much on resources and IT in terms of maintenance and costs. You can kind of reduce it, absolutely negligible. And of course, you can go to market 10 times faster with a platform like ours in terms of rapid development. And of course, the source code of the application is something which is easily maintained on a platform. So if, let's say, there's a turnover, and if there's a new employee a new developer who comes on board, he could actually just pick up this, the application from where the other developer had left off, and he could actually start enhancing the app from there on. So there is no need for traceability, like needing to debug and go through those lines of code to do those things, because here there's absolutely no code. So it's easier to maintain the source code, and the source code can also be exported. There's no vendor lock-in. Like, you can actually get off the platform at any stage. You can bring new plugins from outside into the platform. So you can actually develop a few plugins from outside, bring it into the platform. CR change requests, which is something which piles up, IT backlog for most of the companies, is totally negligible here, because change requests turnaround times is pretty fast, instantaneous, like what I just shared with you. The source code evaluation and enhancement of the app is pretty seamless. And of course, like what I mentioned, learning the platform is just it just takes a little bit of effort, and then you're on your way to mastering the concepts of mobile application development.
Sounds good. So basically, the last but not least, so as you know, this podcast, the goal is to see how potentially we can help youth to accelerate their learning process. So can you talk a little bit about your partnership with Silicon Valley for You, how this potentially can help youth in terms of quickly building mobile apps and, more importantly, learning the use cases rather than just just stay on the journey of learning tools and never get an opportunity to be building something. So that's what we are trying to break, that stereotype. So can you throw some light on that?
Yeah, so Silicon Valley, in fact, has been doing a great job in this particular area where they are actually translating knowledge into, applying that knowledge that has been acquired into practical areas. So that's kind of empowering your cohorts, your students who get trained, and you have those brilliant programs where you can actually have those people whom you kind of train to apply what they learn through internship projects, and makes it more interesting when you have these kind of internship learn as you earn kind of concept, which is kind of fast picking up, and with the brilliant minds like today the youngsters are quite sharp, and they can actually pick up the pieces pretty fast. So OrangeKloud really takes pleasure and the interest to work with Silicon Valley, because we find that OrangeKloud's platform, the eMobic platform, could be some sort of a launch in terms of accelerating the code development. Like when you talk about your set of cohorts who are skilled in different programming environments, they could actually enhance their skill sets by having an additional tool that is very much in trend, which kind of complies well with what industry is moving towards, where they can actually apply this and perform their set of applications faster. In other words, try to complement what they are doing now with an additional tool that can actually help with these kind of cross-platform mobile applications, which is good to have. And it makes you like what I would call a T-shaped professional. When I say T-shaped, it's you don't specialize in only one singular area. Like, for example, if you're a Python developer, you just don't become a specialist Python developer. You also add a little bit of other, areas, like to level up as a T-shaped professional, which is what most of the industries are looking at today. So adding whatever you have with industrial experience, which is being offered by Silicon Valley, will be a great way to go when it comes to the students optimizing what they're learning. I mean, it's a fantastic opportunity that you guys are offering. So that would be something which we are looking forward to, where we would embrace both these into a combined sort of effort that can help both the students as well as the customers at large.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. So likewise. So basically, you rightly said, we, at Silicon Valley for You, idea is to make students understand why they are doing. In other words, take a use case or a business case and try to solve that rather quickly, as quickly as you can. And I know they are all learning fundamentals from, schools and colleges, but they don't get the opportunity to learn these tools in their education system. So we are bringing that, as a, I call it somewhat alternative education, where they learn how to solve a problem. So that's the key word. So yeah, we are also equally excited, and so we'll be launching very soon our programs in different parts of the world. And thanks, Shamil, and I really appreciate. And so just an introductory podcast. We are going to have a series of these podcasts in mobile app space with OrangeKloud, and we'll take different angles, and then we kind of dissect some of the tools they have and showcase those to how we can solve a particular enterprise application problem. So thanks again, and we'll have a next session very soon.
Thanks a lot, Guru, for having me on.
Yeah.
Looking forward to it.